Hello! My name is Cleydson Barbosa and welcome to one more podcast! Yay! Yes, that's that's awkward. Me celebrating just by myself, but I won't be celebrating just by myself for longer. It means with more time. All right, because now let's say hello to my great friend. Hello Norma, hello Inglês para Leigos, hello Juninho Chaves, hello everybody. Today we're going to talk to my very good friend who has been here for other episodes, and I'm going to call him before I announce Paulo Nideck. Oh, I thought I thought it would already be okay. I'll take some breath. Hello, Ana Julia. Well, Paulo is already here.
That's awesome.
Okay. My friend Paulo Nideck.
That's awesome.
Hello, Paulo.
That's really awesome. That's really something. It's amazing because it is an Instagram live, but the way you make it sound, it's like there is something really important that's gonna happen, and conversation in English. But I'm happy that you make such a case of a light conversation that we're gonna have. So tell me, how is the weather in your city? How's everything? You're working like a maniac. I can tell you that.
Yeah, you're right. In Recife, I'm just kidding. In Recife, it's always hot. But I can't complain. I like it. Of course, sometimes we want some cooling down, but it's always good. And you here, it's not, just something. No, it's always a good event. Let's celebrate together that you are here. Okay, there is a comment from Tony Tips. Thank you, Tony, for this comment. I won't read it now because this live is going to be 100% in English, but thank you. Thank you for the comments. Who else?
Yeah, Tony
Juninho said, hello, my brother. Hello, Juninho.
has been following me on YouTube for a while. And thank you, Tony. It's very kind of you. He also has a YouTube channel in which he teaches the English language. So yeah, I'm grateful you're here.
Yes, and we have a lot of friends here who have also English channels. We have podcasts. There is Paulo Nideck, who I'm going to speak a little bit more in a few minutes. But we have people with big blogs, with big podcasts, and this is very great. We have a very good range of friends here, people who are always sticking together, helping each other. And now I'm going to ask to Paulo. Paulo, what's the weather now in Rio?
It's horrible, I don't like the weather in Rio. I don't like the weather. I don't like the traffic. I don't like the people. I don't like the restaurants. Eventually, I'm gonna move out from this city, It's not the marvelous city. Of course, if you come here and you go to the beautiful beaches, Copacabana Beach and Ipanema, you're gonna have a blast, But pretty much the same if you go to Haiti, I think. But you don't want to live there. So I think with Rio de Janeiro, it's pretty much the same. But yeah, and I do live in a good neighborhood around here, and it's good. It's peaceful, but it's kind of violent. I don't like it. I was talking to a foreigner recently, and I asked him, how many times have you been robbed? And he went, no one, never got robbed. And I thought, what about your dad? He lives in the USA. What about your dad? How many times has he got robbed? And said, no, never. He's never got robbed. What about your sister? No, never. What about your mom? No, never. What about your grandpa? Never. What about say? Oh, that's funny because my whole family, as I was describing, they got robbed here in Rio de Janeiro. You know, so I see a little difference over there. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah. There is the Rio for tourists, and there is the Rio for people who live there, right?
yeah,
And
the real,
I know that.
yeah,
Sorry?
for people that live here is the real deal. You know, it's different.
Yeah. Well, for tourists, it's Rio, but for you, it's real, right?
It's the real thing, my friend. Yeah.
Yeah, and here in Recife too, we always have messages, whether from Facebook, whether from this Instagram moments is no WhatsApp moments. I mean, people saying, "Guys, I got robbed. I had to change my number, etc." We always have every day. We have someone, at least one person. Guys, I was robbed, so new phone number.
Correct.
So yeah,
It's not,
that's it.
it's not unusual at all. And we get used to it, but it's not good. That's why I have a lot of people that they live in the United States or they are in Brazil, all over Brazil, and they want to go to Canada or Australia, or they live abroad and they want to improve their English so they can have a better life, really, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of
I
people,
always
85% of Brazilians that live abroad, they do not speak English. So
mm,
like 90%.
that's a good metric.
Yeah.
By the way, Tony is saying it's a pleasure to see you here, guys. I love Nideck's voices. Oh, everybody loves Nideck's voices. Everyone. I always fall in love, and I almost actually fall when I hear his voice. He's tender. He's so profound. His melodic, deep voice.
You have a beautiful voice, my friend.
Oh, thank you. My voice
You
is more like Seed from
you
the
have
Ice Age.
a better voice than I do, and you don't know about that.
Oh, thank you. Paulo has improved his voice, right?
I did.
You have trained your voice, right? You worked your voice
Oh yeah.
out, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. If I were a woman, I probably would have a some boob job, you know, and yeah. But since I'm a guy, I need to work on my voice and on my hair. So I'm happy I have enough hair, so that's not an issue anymore. I was very worried about this. So yeah, hair's good. Got pretty fat with the pandemic. But yeah, working one thing at a time.
Yes, yes. And each one, when we work with social media, communication, YouTube channel, etc., and especially when we have to be business people, because that's something that some people don't know about us, is that we don't just teach English, right? We are also businessmen, and
Mhm.
we have to take care of ourselves to work out our communication skills,
Yes.
some things about our appearance, about our health, right? Always being working out.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, yeah,
And let me
yeah.
introduce you better before we keep this conversation for longer. So, Paulo, the person who is watching this or listening to this has probably seen you before, probably because it was already your follower, your student, or even in this project has seen you interview me, right? But now I don't know, for someone who just has landed on Earth and has never heard about you. So, hello, Renato. So, who are you, Paulo? Can you tell us with your own words?
Man, It's been 30 plus years I've been trying to discover. That is a very deep and profound question. You know,
Yes, it is.
why? I don't know. But well, I can tell you what I do. Uh, I've been doing for the past 12 years. It seems like it's something that happened to me in a way. I started teaching when I was 14 years old. That is right. So I started teaching when I was 14 years old, and I used to play the guitar. So I would play the guitar. I learned real guitar lessons, and I started teaching my friends how to play the guitar because I really studied music. I learned how to read music and how to play the chords, the scales. I really studied it. So I started doing music. That was the first kind of language communication that I taught. Later on, I already spoke English, and then people started looking for me because I lived abroad. I worked for Disney in Florida for a while, and when I came back, I was broke. That's correct. That's Disney right there. So when I came back, I was broke. So I said, yeah, maybe I should teach English. I'm pretty confident that I can speak English. And then I went on to teach people English, you know, and I started teaching adults, going to different companies, teaching business people, teaching business English. And eventually, I remember very vividly since the beginning, I don't know if this is only me or if it happened to you the same way. If it's, I don't really know. But since my first students, I always had students that have tried several times to learn English and they couldn't do it. And not only they couldn't do it, they believed they couldn't. They tried several times. They said, Paulo, you're my last resource. If I cannot do it with you, I will not do it with anyone else. And on the way, my mom is a psychologist. Not that I'm proud of it. It is what it is. And so I I said, yeah, I'm dealing with something deeper than only language here, than only grammar and vocabulary. So I went on to learn um, different techniques so I could improve my students' communication because I realized they were shy and that they would have these problems not only in English but in communication as a whole. So I got trained as a therapist as well later on and started working with that. So yeah, and it's been a long way. So I've been lecturing on the way on people how to improve their communication. I learned different languages. I also speak German, French, Italian, and etc. So it's been a nice ride so far and very interesting, full of new things. I'm tired of making YouTube videos. I made over 700 YouTube videos, you know. So I'm super happy when you call me and say, hey, let's do something together. Say, yeah, sure. But sometimes I say, yeah, man, I worked really hard for it, but I got like 8 plus million views on YouTube. So that is a lot. And say, yeah, I'm done. I've got other stuff to do, you know. I need to exercise. I need to lose weight. I need to make sure my hair is all right, you know. And yeah.
Yes, I like because we were already talking before we start here, right?
That's only
And
what
the
happened to you too. That's only me
sorry?
desperate to learn English and they couldn't do it. Or is it this exact same thing that happens to you when people look for you?
I'll I'll answer that first. Renato Renato Thiago is saying, how are you? I'll read Tony Tip's comment right in a moment. I'll just tell people that we were talking before, right? And I asked Paulo to introduce himself just for people who don't know who he is. And we always talk. Actually, we hardly ever speak about languages, right? We speak more about about our self development, right? We speak more about the urge that people have to accomplish things, and sometimes English is something that they use like something they need to do to change their lives forever, but sometimes they keep, you know, taking care of not learning that because they know that once they learn, they have a responsibility. Or what if I learn English and I don't show the world all of my conquers? Paulo was speaking a little bit about his conquers in a little bit earlier, and he had very great grades, and I didn't reach the same grades as he has been through. But yes, if I get tired, of course, he has been tired as well. I am glad that I could follow up a little bit the background. I've seen the transformation, the evolution of Paulo, not just professionally, but as a person. I'm very honored to follow up, to be in the backstage. And yes, almost every day, people come to me and, Cleydson, I need to learn English.
Mm.
But first, it's for yesterday. And second, I have tried everything.
Mm-hmm.
I tried everything and nothing worked.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm coming to you because you are the last person who I'm contacting before I give up. Or just I have to do it anyway. And if I don't learn English with you, I'm going to
Show myself.
To follow my dreams, to go to work abroad or to do something. But you are just the confirmation that I will never speak English, you know? And
yes, you're the confirmation that I failed. Yes.
Yeah. So what about that?
Are you asking me?
Yes, because yes, I do go through it, and you asked me if I've been through that. Okay, it's not every day, but almost every day, because, and I always recommend my free content. Guys, I have complete English courses on YouTube. Paulo has the same thing. And we don't just sell, you know, we really want to help people, but some of them
I really do, because
want to.
I will die, you know, and I hope that the YouTube videos are over there or not on YouTube.
Yeah.
Somewhere else, you know. I really think about it. Don't you think about those things, you know? Not going to be here forever.
We do want to help people. And Paulo has many gifts, many skills, many talents, but I see that he's dedicated to the education, even with some unusual ways, which I really admire a lot. He is very inventive. He always brings innovations, new approaches, very alternative ways, I would say. But the thing is that I always tell the person, have you tried my free content?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want some material that I can send to you, some PDF. I just ask these questions to the person to see if the person has really tried
Oh, okay.
everything,
Good.
you know. And Tony said, Teacher Paulo, I miss your lives on your YouTube channel. Let's record more videos, man.
Oh,
Okay, go ahead. You you go ahead and you take this comment from Tony too.
doing it right now. You sound like my mom. When I go visit my mom or I call her, say like, "Oh, you're never here. You're never call me." I said, "Mom, I'm calling you right now." Okay. So yeah, but you never. Yeah, let's talk then. You know, I'm right here. So yeah, let's do this. I'm doing it, and I'm happy you're here, Tony. You're a great support, and I love your comments on YouTube as well. So thanks, man.
So
But you sound
what
like
about that?
my mom.
What about that? So yeah, he sounds like your mom. And um, I said that sometimes I before I say, okay, so that's my price. I try to I try to guide the person to some other ways to try to do that by themselves. But how do you deal with that? With these people who come to you and say, Paulo, you're my last chance.
Let's do it, and it's gonna be pricey.
You see?
Yeah, you laugh because it's true and it works. Let's do it. It's not gonna be.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you're talking to the right.
What's the difference? What's the difference that you see from one person who can go surf on the web and try to learn by himself, and someone who invests, and someone who really feels the pain of the money leaving their pockets?
That's the commitment right there. You know. Um, so you're talking at the end of the day. I remember we talked briefly before we do this um, about our experiences in teaching because we didn't start doing this yesterday. So a commitment is really important, you know, and I'm a firm believer that we should invest our time and money in what we believe in, you know. So I'll put my skin in the game right now. It's been a whole month that I'm not smoking cigarettes. I used to be a smoker. So, and I smoked for 4 years. And smoking and quitting smoking is like losing money. You know, people tell you when they quit, but they never tell you when they pick up. You know, say, yeah, I lost $10 million, but nobody said, yeah, you know what, I made 10 million. But yeah, oh man, I lost $10,000. But yeah, so I quit, and it's been a month, but I paid the price for it. You know, I paid for a program. I really committed to it. I do therapy. So I really invest my time and money into doing this. And because I take it seriously, you know, it's like literally my life depends on it. It's the number one thing I'm doing right now. This is more important than this live, for example. So it is really important for me. So I take it really seriously. I think priority is really important, you know. Priority is really important. So I think it's about commitment, really, at the end of the day. So when people ask me, like, oh, I want to do, I don't want to work to start, I got several questions on this recently. And my answer was a question back, like, where does learning English fit in your priority list? You know, I think that's a very good question to ask. where does English fit in your priority list? You know, because if it's, maybe it's number 8, you know, maybe it's number 1, maybe it's number 3, maybe it's number 4. I don't know. So it really depends. I think it's really important. Commitment. It's really important, you know. And I do this. I can tell you what I did when I wanted to learn French, when I wanted to learn German, when I wanted to learn Italian. For Italian, my commitment was lower, way lower. My results were way lower. For German, I was really committed for 2 years, and I was paying, I was investing my time, I was doing the right thing, I was really committed. So my results, they were according to my commitment and to the work I put in. So I really believe, you know, in this discipline, the constancy that is more important than the intensity, you know. So yeah, I really believe, and I practice it. You know, I practice it. I really do.
Yes, yes. Commitment. Because when you invest money, especially if that's a high amount of money, you have something to lose, right? And something important to lose, right?
Correct.
Someone said hi. Victor said hello. Alan Alves waved to us. Hello, Alan. Hello, Victor. And that's what people say. I don't know there is this expression in English, which is throwing the hat to the other side of the wall and try to get it back. You know, it means that you cannot reach the other way of the wall, but since you take your hat off and throw it through the wall, now you have to get it back. So some people do that to feel like now, if I don't, it's like a punishment in advance. And well, it helps discipline for some people, but for some other people, it's too much pressure. You know, some other people, when they think, oh, now people have expectations. My family is investing a high amount of money. If I just did it by myself, that would be better. So I wouldn't say that it works for everyone, but we were talking earlier about the best way to learn any language, right? And Paulo has the answer for what is the best way to learn a language. Okay, what's the best method? Okay, Paulo, the word is yours.
Yeah, you told me about a video that I talked about this. Well, I think there are different things work for different people. That's for sure. So that's the answer that I had on the video. But I really believe that. I remember I was talking to a friend of mine, and he told me the truth is very boring. You know, so there's not like a magic formula for anything. Well, I'm a firm believer in comparison, so I make a lot of links between Portuguese and English. I have a lot of videos about this, and my method is based on this premise. So that's number one. The number two would be like substitution, you know, substitution method. Like, I like water, I like coffee, I like Coca-Cola, I like Instagram, I like cars. So, and then say, I don't like cars. I don't like coffee. I don't like the internet. I don't like. So substitution is really important. And I can tell you, really underestimated. I remember when I was teaching in a company, the famous telecommunication company, which is from Netherlands, Nokia, and there was a guy over there that he was kind of a mysterious guy, and people would talk about him and say, "Wow, that guy, he speaks like several different languages," and he was somewhat crazy looking. He had a big beard, you know, so he looked like a genius or a crazy or a murderer. You know, when you look at the person and you don't know
Or
if
the
it's,
three things at the same time.
yeah, you don't know if you're gonna listen to something very bright or if he's gonna stab you, you know. And you're laughing because it's true. You probably met those kind of people. So I was talking to him, and he said, "All right, so I wasn't so sorry about you taught several languages. How do you learn those?" And he said, "Substitution." And said, "How come?" Substitution. So that's all you should do. You know, substitution. You get one word, you substitute this, you substitute that, you substitute that. And that was the most awful answer and the most depressed, very horrible answer, but it's truth, you know. You can get a lot by a substitution method. I do it a lot. We can call it drill. We can call it like scratching, vocabulary scratching. We have those, you know, names and techniques. But at the end of the day, it's kind of substitution. So yeah. And another in love. Yeah, another thing that works for me is falling in love with the method, you know. So what about you? What work for your students? What is your experience with your students that seem to work?
Yeah, that's a good question. I was just to make it clear when I said Paulo has the one perfect method. Just like he said, everyone has a different way to learn things. People are unique, and what Paulo is saying is, according to his experiences, what has worked out the best way. And for me, I do think that substitution is a great method and it works, you know. So you can try to adapt what we say here. And something that I use with students, I have a lot of different things that I use, but about about uh, about understanding things in English. What I normally put the students to do first is the contrast. First of all, guys, a different language is a different language. It doesn't matter if it's English, if it's Spanish, if it's Italian, because he doesn't even look at you. Okay, I don't know who Fiolegeret is, who she is referring to. Paulo is probably in front of a mirror for people who are watching here live. Okay, so first of all, I tell people, guys, first of all, let's prepare our mind before verb to be, before any exercise. You're learning a different language, right? So even if you try to learn Spanish, Spanish is a different language because we are used to think that for us who speak Portuguese, we are used to think that Spanish is like Portuguese but with another accent. You know, you get Coca-Cola and you say Coca-Cola in Spanish. No, it doesn't work this way. And although Portuguese and Spanish share a lot of vocabulary, it's a different language. So the first thing is, it's a different language. Why is it so important? Because we compare so much. We always try to fit the new concepts to our language, to our mother language. So different transport is saying it's true. Yeah, because for example, if I say in English, I like you, that's three words. In Portuguese, that would be four. And people think, what about the fourth piece of word? No, it's Portuguese. So the first thing I spend at least one whole class with the person just to distinguish one language from the other, because you have one target. You want to come from the point A to the point B. If you leave the point B and walk or run to the point B, you're going to get there. But if you try to bring the point B to the point A, it's going to be a lot of work and probably useful, because most Brazilians, most people who I know hasn't really started from beginning. They had contact with English. It doesn't matter if your school is the worst. You have had some contact. If you watch TV, cartoons, you have seen things, and you have the internet. If you're listening to that, I don't want to be rude, but I just think that if you're now trying to start from scratch, you're in a better place than I was and that Paulo was when we started to learn English, Spanish, or other languages. So first of all, it's not your language, it's another language. Because this way, you can try to go baby steps, you can have patience with yourself, and you don't try to fit the pieces of the other language to your background. You have to build a new background from scratch. I'll tell you the second thing, but I'll say, I think that you are great, but your friend looks out of space. Okay, Flo Garrett, I just don't know who you're. Are you speaking about me or about Paulo? Paulo is in front of a mirror. If you see, he is recording the not a mirror, but the computer, I think. So, but we are in the same page. So, Paulo,
right.
do you have anything to comment?
Yeah, I have a question. Yeah, do you spend the first class pointing out the differences between the languages and telling like the different mechanics it works? Like in Portuguese it works like this, in English it works like that, in Portuguese it works like this, in English like that. Is that what you do in your first class?
No, no. Actually, I don't. In the first class, I don't build bridges, or I don't. In the first time, I don't build. In the first time, I just smash. So I don't live brick over brick. I don't live one brick on the top of the other, just because I want us to start from. If you're starting from zero, if you're saying that I want to start from -1, okay, let's start from -1. English is different from Portuguese. Spanish is different from Portuguese. French, it's another language. So don't compare it. It doesn't work. I know, because it's natural, because we human beings, we search for patterns, right? We want to look for things that are familiar for us, so we don't feel threatened. I mean, it doesn't looks like something that is going to be dangerous for us. But the thing is, if you start to think that, okay, I know it's another language. No, no. Deep inside, you're trying to have one word to translate the other, right? You want one word to fit perfectly in the vocabulary that you already have. No, that's not how it works. Learning a new language is not learning the translation of each word and bringing from one board to the other, right? Do you understand what I mean? Am I
Yes.
clear?
Yes. Hmm. Yes. So,
So that's the first thing. There are other things, but that's the first thing before any concept, before saying, there is the verb to be. I use it as examples, but I don't teach it. I just say, guys, if you say good morning in Portuguese, okay, I'll open a very little window. Okay, not okay, yes. I'll say that in Spanish to not say that in Portuguese. So, in English, you say good morning. In Spanish, it's buenos dias, right? So, bueno means good. Okay. But morning doesn't mean dias. Do you get it?
yeah, sure. Yeah, they come from totally different places, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. They have different origins. They have different cognitive logics, right? So Sueli, hello Sueli.
Hello.
And if we start to look at that as something to be, we have to be humble and think, okay, if I really don't know anything about that, even if you know, but if you think I'm going to be a baby now, and I will not question things. I may ask, but not resist. Oh no, but no, it doesn't make sense. It's not your language, right? Okay, so Paulo, you may comment about that if you feel like it.
Yeah, I see. I was recognizing the patterns of what you're saying. But I think that's a very interesting way, our approach, that you've been working with this for years and you clearly see the advantages of it. Because if you work this way, you put the student in a place of not questioning the language and just going with it, you know, just be worried about speaking it and not question every single detail of the way. Yes, which is a nightmare.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
For any person, really. And I don't know. Um, um, I think it's about time for us to wrap it up because I need to get dinner. But there's one thing that I've been thinking recently is that we have this thing about understanding that is so profound that, you know, once a friend of mine, he told me like a story that I found it pretty interesting. And it's an old story, old Buddhist story. And because so often we want to understand something, but we don't really want to solve it. We don't want to solve it. If you pay attention, many times when your students and my students, they ask many questions about the same subject, it means they don't want to do it. Yes. So they want to know every little detail. So, okay, so I want you to do a composition about yourself. And they ask you, like, oh, how come? About myself? Yeah, sure. Oh, but what am I going to tell about myself? Tell about who you are, what you work, what you do, where you live. Say, okay, but how many paragraphs? Oh, you can do 4. Okay, but 4 paragraphs, but each paragraph has like 5 or 6 lines into it. I said, yeah, okay. And all right, but what about the title? I just put the title like I am Paulo. And so they keep on asking questions, because they don't want to do it. And I'm telling you this from experience, because I'm the same way. When I don't want to do something, I have a bunch of questions about that thing. So, but then people say, once I heard that's a lot of therapy, and that's a good result of good therapy. Because I can get myself ahead of time and said, why am I asking too many questions about this? Say, just freaking do it, go for it. You don't need to understand the thing. You need to solve it. I don't need to understand the thing. I need to solve it. So yeah, I think I've been observing this lately, that people say, oh, now I got it. Now I understand why you say like that. Say, oh man, it's been 10 years and now I finally got it. And that's so, oh, I don't understand why Cleydson does this. I've been thinking about this and I don't understand. And I was talking to her and I don't understand. And everybody's worried about understanding everything. So I guess I agree when you said about pattern recognition. And then I think of acceptance. I think I like a proverb in English, or a saying that it says, it is what it is. It is what it is. I don't need to understand. I want to solve it. I want to make it better. I want to improve. I don't really want to understand it. And the old story was, like a friend of mine, he was telling me, and we were in therapy together, and he said an old story about, and I was talking about the process and understanding the process and all this, and then he said, oh, let me tell you a story. Here's an old story that, those Indian old stories, blah, 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 and said, when you are hit by an arrow, you want to know how big is the arrow, you want to know the length of the arrow, you want to know the kind of material that the arrow was made of, who shot the arrow at you, why they freaking shot the arrow at you and not the other person, what are the chances of, say, just get the freaking arrow out of you, So yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Just one thing. Rosa Flor Patchwork is saying good evening to Paulo. She's speaking from João Pessoa. Rodan from USA says, hi teacher, I'm Rodrigo, New Jersey. How are you, my teacher?
Hello.
We are almost leaving, guys. We're just wrapping up. But the thing is, I would say that if you want to learn something, I know that we all have difficulties. We all have some struggles. I do, right? But if you want to reach the point B, leave your objections on the point A and run away from there. That's all what I was saying in my speech, but these questions that you were saying, right, and the resistance that people have is objections. Yeah. If you accept If you just accept, well, it's a new language, it's difficult. So, guys, if you just accept, and the thing is, not all words will fit, but it's okay. That means you're learning, and that means you're becoming a different person. You're becoming a person with a larger background, right? So, Paulo, the turn's yours now.
Yeah, that's good. That's very good. Yeah, learning English, it's not easy. It's not easy. I can tell you it was really easy for me because I loved it. But since we have like 2% of people in Brazil that speaks fluent English, apparently it's not easy. If it were easy, it would be 98% of Brazilians speaking English. So I can see by the numbers. I like numbers. It's not easy. So yeah, got to put in the work. For me, I just fell in love with the language. I love music. I love movies. I love reading in English. So I like it. I enjoy it. And once I enjoy it, it becomes easy. So you can do that as well, you know. It's much easier.
Yeah, and there's something else. I think this live was short to say all of what we have to say about it. But one thing that I always tell the students, and that's going to help them to achieve any language, anything that they are putting themselves in a place to do, is enjoy the ride.
Enjoy the ride. Yeah, that's a very good. That's a very good. Let's finish, please. You know, I don't want to say
Okay.
anything else. Enjoy. Yeah.
So, Paulo, how can people find you? We have just a few minutes before we can still save this live for me to use it later. So, you may use your last words.
Paulo Nideck. Você coloca Paulo Nideck no Google, here, Instagram, YouTube, you'll find me. Nideck. Inglês direto ao ponto. You'll find me.
That's how you'll find Paulo Nideck. Guys, thank you so much for everyone who stayed here so far. Thank you, Paulo, for being here. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. Today was just talking, you know, it was just a chat. It's always a pleasure for us to talk, right? And for people who are listening to it, both the content and just listening to it will help them, right?
Sure. That's what we're here for. Enjoy the ride.
Yeah, Rodan is saying the best teacher, and Rosa, I need translation, please. Of course, Rosa, when we finish that, we may talk, but we are finishing this live 100% in English. Thank you for everyone. Paulo, thank you so much. Let's keep it up.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I love when you invite me to do this, and I'm here.
Of course, and we'll have more times, right?
Please. Please.
Okay, guys. So delaying too much to say goodbye.
All right.
Bye-bye, guys. Thank you so much.
Enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride. Bye.
Enjoy the ride. Bye-bye.